What is up, Pineal family? We're back again, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to transplant your seedlings. Like always, grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea. Let's hang out together. Before I even get started with this, thanks for being a part of this growing community and this nationwide movement, which is the Pineal trade stations, which are kind of like the little free libraries, if you know what those are, but for plants. If you don't know what that is, they're just little farm stands that basically everything is free. You're just trading and sharing with your own community. We're in 15 states now, and it's because of you guys. So thank you guys for being here. And yeah, hopefully this month I'm gonna do a video every single day. So let me know if you guys are liking that in the comments. Yeah, let me know if you guys are learning stuff. Give me content, give me things to talk about down below. But today, we're talking about these tomatoes here. So I have these tomatoes because tomatoes are awesome, and growing your own tomatoes is freaking sweet. So we have this whole tray, and there's probably like 100 in here or whatnot. And if I left them in this tray, right, it's a great way to start your tomatoes because you can plant so many. However, if you just leave them in here, they're gonna get very like stringy. They're gonna get very straggly, if that's the right word, hopefully. But they're gonna just like kind of flop over. You're not going to build a very strong stem. And that's what we want, right? When you put your plants that you started, your seedlings in the garden, the goal obviously is to get as much food as possible, right? You want to get food to feed yourself, to feed your family, to feed your community, to trade with your community, whatever. But we want food, right? And so, yeah, you can plant a dying or not super high quality plant, like just not doing too well, didn't take care of itself, right? But you're not gonna get as much food from that. So we really want these seedlings to get started off right, because if we can get them strong and healthy and a very strong stem, once they start producing this fruit, and tomatoes aren't really that light, right? They're pretty heavy fruit. Once they start producing this fruit, they're just gonna be able to hold it up. It's just gonna, if you want that sturdiness of that plant, you're gonna get more food from it. So you started your tomatoes in this, now we wanna transplant them. And I'm gonna kinda teach you real quickly how to do that. It's very, very easy. So I'm gonna be using something like this. They're just individual pots. You can also use a tray like this. This is an 8-cell tray. Is a lot deeper than like this, the thing I have it planted in now. Now, one thing with this is if you're gonna leave the tomatoes in a while inside still, if you're growing these indoors under some grow lights, or you have a greenhouse or what have you, and you're gonna keep them in this for a while, as they grow, this might be a little bit close, right? Now, if you're gonna transplant them in the garden in like 2 or 3 weeks, you might be good. You might be smooth. But this obviously you won't have that problem because it's an individual pot. Everything is kind of, there's some principles of growing your own food, I think, but in my opinion, a lot of it is just looking at your situation. Okay, I have a month until I can really plant these out in the garden. They might get too big in here. I might try for something like this. So look at your situation. So I'm not gonna use this, but you could. And I'm gonna use this guy. So let's fill it up with some soil medium. Whatever you're using to kind of plant your stuff. I'm just using some compost. I think it works great. We're going to pot it up, plant it like that. Now you could pre-water and just water this before you actually repot, which honestly I would. I just don't even have any water around me. But I like doing that pre-watering. because these seedlings are kind of delicate. So, you know, when you take a big watering can and just pour it over, or like a big hose, and you're not misting, you know, if you have that dial on mist, you're good. But if you're just like hitting it with water, it could kind of hurt the plant. So pre-watering and then making your hole and watering and then planting is honestly a really good tip that I've found. So we have our little pot filled up, right? And now we're just going to poke a hole in there. Get your hands in the dirt, it's good for you. And then when we are going to pick these out, so many people get scared of this, right? They think that they're gonna just mess up their plants and they're gonna destroy their plants. You know, some plants, the roots are, if you disturb them, like squash, they don't like to get the roots disturbed. But with tomatoes, I think it's gonna be fine, especially if you plant them just far enough away and you transplant them when they're small enough, because you're not really even messing with the roots. They're probably not intertwined at this point. So all we're gonna do is come in here and just kind of scoop up some of the dirt. Like, we don't even really have to try to pull the tomato out, because then you can like rip the roots. We can literally just pop it out with the dirt, just like that. I don't know if you just saw that, but that was a really weird angle I had my hand at. But boom, just like that, we're just gonna pop it out. And then, this is the most important thing. When we pop this in here, we don't wanna plant it at the same depth as we just took it out, because then there's really no point, right? The whole point of this is to grow a super nice, strong stem. So plant it deep, right? We want to plant this pretty deep in here, right? Do not be scared. Just come in here, plant that stem all the way down, just like that. Like, I'm planting really right up at those leaves, right? Don't be scared to do that. And then it's going to start growing, and it's gonna have a much stronger stem than if you just left it in here, yeah, by themselves and let them do their thing. They're just gonna get floppy, just not great. Guys, it's that easy. Growing food is not hard. Once you know a couple different tips, once you have a couple of different principles, and then you can look at the situation in your garden, and it's not that hard. Don't make it too hard. And it is so rewarding growing food. It just, the health benefits that it gives you. First off, you're eating food super locally from your own backyard. You can't get any more local than that. Second, it tastes amazing. Like, the quality of food that you can grow versus the store-bought food is not even close. Like, a tomato from my garden would taste way better, unconditionally better than a tomato, unquestionably, I said unconditionally, unquestionably better than a tomato from the store. The taste, if you're, you know, trying to use it in the kitchen, so good. You would notice, your family would notice. And it also just slows you down, right? Sometimes we're going so fast in life all the time. We're always doing something. We're working. We're do everything. Like, we're just doing stuff. We're scrolling. And just being in the garden is such a mental health, like, even if you don't have mental health problems, or you have good mental health, maybe is a better way of putting it. Man, this just makes sure that you keep that mental health going, just like our physical health, right? You know, you have to keep going to the gym, you have to keep moving your body and eating healthy for your, physical body to be healthy. Mental health's the same way, guys. You got to really, before it gets bad, you should put in a plan to make it not go bad, right? We want a healthy mental health, and I think my generation especially, it has kind of tanked. We're just not getting outside. We're not using nature. We're on our phones all day, every day. We're not connecting with communities in real life. And so I think that's another reason why growing your own food and gardening, it's just a tool in the toolbox. It's a tool in the Pineal lifestyle. I'm gonna do so many more videos this month. I'm gonna do cooking videos. Hopefully I can get some interviews with some people either this month or next. I'm gonna do some garden tours as the season continues, some homesteading tours, but just all types of health related content and community content. I'm really just trying to build communities, not just here on YouTube, but in real life. Guys, again, it was great. This video went a little bit longer than I thought because I just started talking. Love you guys. Until next time, peace out.